when you are looking at this project idea, you must screen them. So screening out, there are some guidance to which you may use at the end of the day. This, we call it a pre-screening project ideas. And one of them that will guide you in terms of pre-screening projects, you will look at the likelihood in terms of profitability. Is this one going to be profitable? So you'll have to rank by yourself, and also you understand the cost and benefits, and also the duration for the payback and the time needed to complete the project. You'll also check for competition. Is there competition, or you are going to be the first one towards setting up the project, and also flexibility of the expected projects, and also the project impact. These are some of the things that you find are very important for pre-screening process for the idea. And that's why you find people are coming up with so many ideas, but they cannot implement because they don't rank it. They don't provide enough analysis regarding whether they should run or not running it. But again, we have the so-called risk. You need to check, what about the risk analysis regarding this project idea? And also you need to look at the similarity to existing business, investment size, sources of finance, ease implementation, and also ability to reach objectives, and also scale evaluation for low, moderate, and high. So those are the pre-screening ideas that at the end of the day you'll find are important for you to take note. But again, we have to end up by talking about the factors to be considered in project identification and preparation, just in brief. When we are talking about these factors to consider in project identification and preparation, these are very important. This is about participation by grassroots, and depending on the forms of projects that you are talking, you need, if you are working in the government, you cannot, folks, if you are working in the government, you cannot set up a project that do not involve grassroots. That would be wrong approach. You must involve people in proper project identifications. But as you are the champion to provide leadership towards that direction. So participatory by grassroots, by making sure that key stakeholders are being involved, women, men, young people, elderly, and so on, and other decision makers are being involved. So, it's very important when it comes to public-related projects. Another factor that you will need to look at is the environment and sustainable use of natural resources. You check for the environments. And another point that is going to be very important is to look at the national development programs and the policies, success or failure of similar projects in the past. And you'll also determine the technical aspects of it, and the marketability of the projects, the institutional capacity of the project's member to run similar projects. These are some of the ideas that are very important for you to look at. The competent staff. Do you have enough competent staff that will be capable of running the projects, or maybe the one that they cannot deliver? So, and this is very serious in Africa, because you have good number of people, but they cannot deliver performance, and this is the serious for the continent. So you need, when you are identifying about a project, you also need to know the type of staff that you are likely to be recruited in your projects. Remember, projects you are not trying, but you have to make sure you get people with a proper mind to deliver the performance, and you get the competent people who can do. Also, you need to look at attitudes and skills towards the beneficiaries, and also social aspects. You need to understand about the social context to which the project is going to be set, and the commercial aspects, and also financial aspects, as I have already outlined that one. Now, what are the project identification challenges in Africa? Number one, selecting the right project, because you have so many ideas in Africa. So selecting the right type of project is also a challenge, because you have so many opportunities in Africa. than any other part of this world. Africa is the center for opportunities, and that's why the Western is coming into Africa to invest, and Chinese are also coming into Africa to invest, and European are also coming into Africa to invest. Everybody would like to come and stay in Africa. So selecting the right type of project is also a challenge. Being surrounded with so many opportunities is also a challenge. So it's a challenge to professionalism. It's a challenge to professional in project management, to run a project to address people's problems, you see, and bring about sustainability of their nation and sustainability of themselves, getting income and so on. This is also a challenge. So lack of professionalism and project identification, lack of focus and visions, priority setting, which priority do you have? This is also a challenge. The team spirit, there's so many politics. And when you set up a project, other people will come and try to discourage and interfere the dreams. So if it is of the public, you may find yourself not forging the future. So you may find yourself getting a problem towards execution. So forming a proper team for executing the project is also a challenge in Africa. Positioning yourself as general, this is also a challenge. What do we say as general? Because this word is a strategist. I use strategist as general. Positioning yourself as a strategist towards your project is also a challenge. So we have very few people who can stay focused towards the projects. Very few people who can who can position themselves as a strategist, as a general, who can focus towards no matter what happened, but you stay focused. Because on the way, there will be other people who run away from not joining you, but you have to stand as generals for projects management. So you must have, you must be a strategist. And also we have another challenge that people are facing is understanding project games and funding process. As I say, there's a lot of funding in Tanzania. Even in here, what we find, there are commercial banks sitting with the money idle, but nobody is going to get those funding. We have donors sitting with the money in the country, but nobody is going and approaching their offices requesting funding. And we have other individuals who are rich. They have money, but they don't know where and when to spend their money. How we don't have professionals who can grab the money for projects to address the problems. So many people don't have confidence. So you realize at the end of the day, many people don't have confidence to which they may execute projects, and this is also another challenge for the project. But all in all, let me say one thing right here. You need to understand the regulator. The project regulator, the regulator for your project is the government. The regulator of your performance is the government. Government, young people, when you set your project, you must make sure your project is within the government regulations and the policies and the guidance. Outside that, you are in trouble. So the government prepare plans for industries and the overall development of the country, and it spell out priorities on what should be done. So you realize that you need to know that the government priorities are these ones, and this is what you can do. So you initiate a project based on the priority of the government. If you initiate a project that is not within the government regulations, folks, you're in trouble. You're in trouble, and you'll get stuck, and you'll not be allowed to implement a project that is not within the government regulations. So even if you go, You look for profitable investments, but again, you must come back to government regulations. What are the government regulations that talks about running profitable projects in the country? So you need to get a proper licensing and so on. Never fight your government. Never fight. We don't, as project professionals, we don't fight government, but we join hands and we address people's problems, but within the context of the national policies. So you may discover many projects once you read out government policies and other frameworks for regulations. So people need to respect their government policies and include government policies in their analysis and make reference, make quotations for evidence-based reporting for project identifications. So, for example, for people from Tanzania, they may read different sector policies, and this may include, for example, what we are saying here is Tanzania Vision 2025, and of course, right now we have the Vision 2050. But again, you may read the national industrial policies, national health policies, national ICT policies, education sector policies, national agricultural policies, and fishing policies, mining policies, and so on. So, folks, these are some of the issues that you require to understand during the identification process. But let me finally say something. We have the kickoff. What will motivate you as a professional when you are running a project is for you all the time to set meetings and you write down minutes, and also you implement project based on the minutes. And that will be a reference points and filing process. So it is important. You as a professional, you understand the role of kickoff meeting when we get started. But many more will be discussed in near future in the next session. And may I say I wish you the best and thank you very much. Meet you next time for the next